Hey, welcome back, everybody. As you can tell, Prop Bet Pete is not in studio today, but I am live with the team. We are really happy to be here at Pull Tab Sports in the Cub Content Studio. It's been a while, and we've had so much fun in the past. We've got a familiar face back with us. We've got a new face, and we've got a lot going on. So what we'd like to do is quickly, Kelly, I want to welcome you back because, quite frankly, you know more about gambling than David or I do combined, and you're about half our age. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being a part of this. And David, as always, it's just a pleasure to see you and be 1,000 miles from you because I don't want to be anywhere near you right now, but I love you. So David, I'd like to actually give you an opportunity to say hello and maybe introduce our special guest today.
Yeah, well, welcome back again, Kelly. Love to have you in studio. And Prop Bet Pete, love to see you on the screen over here, calling in from Colorado. And got a good longtime friend of, I'll say it long time, of about 10 years or so. Yeah. Met on the golf course, did a little business together. Yep. Dom Barber, everybody. So if you're a big fan, you're probably Wikipediaing him right now to figure it out. But no. So Dom, so tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here and what you've done, and then we're going to jump right in.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. This is absolutely awesome. I grew up here in the great state of Minnesota in Plymouth. Right, was at a high school guy. Grew up Trojans, go Trojans. You know, I was a football, baseball, hockey guy.
This is your connection right here, Kelly.
And I did bring a gift, right? And I'd love to, pass on the gift that I have brought if
we're going to start out with this.
Anyone is interested.
Okay. So this is a great way to start a podcast. So Kelly, you already saw what it is. Yeah. Have you done this before?
Yes.
Do you want to tell our listeners what Dom just pulled out of his...
I believe those are some smelling salts.
That is correct.
Oh. Okay, hang on a second. Sal, you don't have a camera on you today because, right?
Right.
Can you slide over here? Because you got to probably partake in this.
Yeah, I can slide over. I just got to switch this camera around.
So Dom, you played high school, 3 sports, then you went on and played for the Gophers and then went to the NFL, big league for a while.
Correct.
So you're am I saying? You're a veteran to this thing.
Yes. My rookie year in Houston, I was introduced to smelling salts. I was a special team guy, right? And special teams, you got to be a little crazy. And the easiest way to be crazy is smelling salt. That'll get you real good, real fast. And so, once that first time I tried it, I had to do it every time. So kickoff, punt return, kickoff, didn't matter. If I was going on the field, smelling salt was going up my nose.
Okay, so do we need any sort of medical waiver here? And Kelly, are you going to be consenting to this?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I need the little boost.
So let me ask you this, Dom. So when you hammer the smelling salts, does the intensity of it tend to lessen over time, or is it the same every single time, like clarity and the whole thing?
Every time it hits the same. Yep.
Okay, and David had asked me to maybe pick up some smelling salts because he knew that you were bringing a gift, and I wasn't able to find some. Darn it! So my closest best thing is my wife's nail polish.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's awesome.
When you guys are doing smelling salts, I'll be smelling the nail polish, right?
Yes, I love it.
Okay, so how do we do this?
So pretty simple, right? Shake it up so it is ready to go.
Yep.
All you got to do is open her up and put it to your nose, just like Pete did there, and you'll be good to go.
It's been a while since I've done these. Okay.
All right, here we go, Cal.
Yep.
Oh, you went deep on that.
That was a deep one. Yeah, you're gonna feel that.
Oh,
You got a garbage
awesome.
can handy?
Yeah.
I was crying, but it's good.
Yeah.
That's the left nostril.
Yep.
Those are way stronger than the ones I tried.
Yeah.
I think okay, Chris.
Yeah.
I can smell it already.
Yeah.
You might need to shake it a little.
No, I got it all.
Yeah.
I got it in both nostrils.
Oh.
my God.
Dom, you did that every time before you ran on the field.
Every
basically,
time.
if you're
Every
it's
time.
first time, right?
Yep. Every time. I mean, you'll see it. I mean, you probably may not notice it when you watch a game on Sundays, but you might now. You'll see guys. Yeah. They'll just, they're little packs, right? And they'll just take the quick and they'll just throw.
My
right?
absolute favorite. I'm like losing my voice now.
And you found that gave you a fair amount of mental clarity as well as just got your body hyped up, a little adrenaline rush.
Honestly, I don't even know what it just made me feel like I can go be kamikaze and run down on kickoff.
I think I could do it right now.
Oh, you're ready to roll, right?
No, but during hockey games, you see them smell them all the time on the bench. And my favorite is they literally have no reaction, the hockey players. Like, they can just sit there sniffing it, and because they're so used to it. Yeah. But, it's insane. I'm like, we can't even get a little whiff without,
I'll tell you what, my left nostril.
Yeah. My right nostril.
Sure. It's you're on the right one. You went into that.
I was like,
Sal, I got to be honest. You went 3 times at that.
Well, I had to even it out a little bit.
I felt like if I'm judging, I'd say that Kelly took the best shot at it, and Elvis second, and David, you were a wimpy third.
So that was all for nothing then.
Yeah. Well, we need the viewership and listenership. So for those of you that are listening to us, Prop Bet Pete's on a big screen over here on a Zoom call for us. He had the nail polish up next to his nose for 30 seconds.
Pull it out again there.
Yeah, Pete, go ahead. We'll have to see if we can get you if you're watching on YouTube. So we got to do everything before we get some more viewership. For those of you that are listening, I think we're up to close to episode 20. We're happy to be here in the Cub Content Studio. Before we get into Kelly and Dom a little bit more, make sure that when you're out doing your grocery shopping, the next trip, go out to Cub Foods for your grocery and liquor store. They got all your needs for tailgating essentials. You can pick up your hamburgers, brats, chips, veggie platters. They've got cold cuts and party trays and desserts. And make sure to hit up that Cub liquor store before you head out. Pete and I talk about those THC drinks that are there as well.
I'll tell you what, David, being out here right now, I miss the Cub Foods curbside delivery as well. I also miss just being able to go in there and get everything from pharmaceuticals. You got Advil. I don't know if they have smelling salts or not, but just all the things you can get along with the food, and the produce is always a favorite of my wife and I as far as freshness and longevity. So Cub, thanks for your sponsorship. We appreciate it.
Well said. I got to be honest, though. You told me on the way here that it would only last a few seconds. It's still, I can still smell it.
I can still smell them, but I can see why that's the key to playing some intense games. It gets you going.
Yeah.
So we want to talk a little bit about NHL. Obviously, Kelly's really knows a lot about the NHL and the NFL here in just a second because Dom is our special guest. But to get to know, we did this to Kelly. We did the 5 questions for you about 8 or so episodes ago. Pete, do you want to get the 5 questions off for Dom? He's never heard of these before, but I did tell him we got $100 bet on it. And by the way, I'm still up $700.
So we have a $100 bet, Dom, on every single question. And it's always fun to get to know folks a little better, and always fun to bet a little bit because that's what we're all about. So we've prepared 5 questions for you, and David answered questions 2 and 4 first and gave me the option of answering them second, and then I answered 1, 3, and 5 first, and he was able to pick the over, the under, or something around the question if it's a multiple choice. So let's just get right into it. Dom, question number 1. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And look at my fingers when I tell you what the answer is. Okay, right. Because I got $100 on it. Okay, no.
Yeah.
In your estimation, Dom Barber, how many years of your life did you play organized football?
It would be 28 years.
I was so far off on that. I put 16.
Actually, no. Time out. It would be, so I was 10 and I stopped playing when I was thinking my age now. Sorry. It would be
maybe take some smelling salts. 28 minus 10 is 18 years, I think, is what you want.
28. Well, no, I retired technically when I was 26.
Okay.
So therefore, it would be 17 years? Yeah, 17 years.
Pete, are you closer? What's the number?
David, you won. I had 16, and David took the over. So, David, that's $100 for David.
And Dom, people are going to rewind that and think that 16 minus 10 is 6, but we're just going to say 17, and I win, and we're moving on. Kelly, you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
We do have a history of taking the first first answer, whether it's true or not. He said 28, so I'll give you the over.
I was never a math guy.
Well, it's that smelling salts.
Probably too many.
Yeah.
Too many shots to the head.
Dom, I think I know the answer to this, but we're going to ask you anyway. When sports betting, do you prefer to bet the straight money lines or the parlays?
Oh, parlay.
Oh, God dang it.
Yeah.
So, Barber, I
I'm a
love
big parlay
you.
guy.
You are. I would.
Yeah.
You just talked about the money line and just bet straight last night.
Yeah, well, there's obviously you have
disappointed.
those every once in a while, but I love
get-rich fast
2
mentality.
3-way parlays. Obviously a little more risk, but when you got a good feel for, I'm a vibe guy, right? I don't necessarily look at the money line or anything like that. Now, if it makes sense, I'm going to take the points. But if not, last night, I took a chance on Houston. It was my former team, but I just liked how they were playing, and I think the kiddies I thought they were going to do what they did in the first half the whole game, but hey, they must be for real this year. So, but I'm a big parlay.
You like parlay. Kelly, what about you?
I do both, but I've learned that it's much smarter to just bet the money lines and go from there because
I agree with you.
You miss parlays so often. And oh my gosh, I am literally becoming so good at going like 5 for 6 and 4 for 5. Like I miss them by one leg, and there's nothing worse than missing a parlay by one leg.
So true.
It's still an L, right?
Yeah, literally.
Whether it's 1 for 6 or 5 for 6, it's still an L.
Yeah.
Hey, Pete, since we're so bad at sleeper and otherwise, after we get through the 5 questions, I think we should have Dom make a bet on my sleeper app for the Monday Night Football game tonight, and Kelly make an NHL bet.
Okay.
I love it.
All right,
I think
so
it's great.
we'll come back to that in a second. We'll see what you guys are doing on, because we're just going to do a big prop bet, right?
Love it.
Yep, let's do
But
it.
make 6 out of 6 this time.
I will try my best.
All right. All right. Question number 3.
So Dom, number 3. I'm going to switch up number 3 and number 4 because I've already asked really 2. Well, I actually only asked 1 gambling question. This is life question number 2. Favorite protein when you sit down to a meal? Is it beef? Is it chicken? Is it seafood? Or is it vegan, vegetarian?
Wow. Well, it's definitely not vegan.
Okay.
But I will say beef.
Oh, that's a David Casino win. Right?
We just had a nice steak.
Yeah,
at
we
Pittsburgh
did.
Blue, so I
Yeah.
wrote down beef,
Yeah.
Dom, and I was hoping that was going to be it.
Right, yeah.
Oh, so you had some inside knowledge.
Yeah.
Nice. Very
And you know it when he orders a ribeye, too.
Oh,
the bone-in
yeah.
ribeye, you know
Yeah.
he's a beef guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, a little marbling on that.
Oh, man.
Did we asked you that same question, didn't we?
Yeah.
You were seafood.
Seafood,
Yes,
all the way.
there you
Okay.
go.
Yeah. And David, you
I think I swept you that time.
you did sweep me on Kelly. No, because I won the first 2 off of Kelly because I got it right up here. Okay, so Dom, question number 4. At what age did you gamble your first dollar? And remember, no one's going to come and arrest you. You can just decide. But when do you remember gambling for the very first time?
So is this like just with buddies, or is this real, at a casino?
Just whenever you felt like it was your first gambling moment in your life.
probably
When did you put a wager down?
It's probably 16.
Did you put right on the number? No, you said 17, and I went under,
I
didn't
said 17. I did.
God, I love this new
David
guest.
took
I'm
me
going to
under.
drive you home tonight, actually.
Yeah.
You get a ride home, because for sure I'm going to win.
Okay, so final question is a little personal for you, Dom. So I've got 3 options here. Of these 3 college highlights, which one do you remember most fondly?
Okay.
Number 1, your 2005 blocked punt against Colorado State.
He's lighting up right now. This is
well,
great. This
yeah.
is good prop bet.
Number 2, your 2006 46-yard interception return for a TD against the Hoosiers of Indiana.
Yeah. Okay.
Or number 3, your 2 interception game against Brian Hoyer, who I remember as an NFL player as well at Michigan State.
All fun ones for sure. I'd probably say the Michigan State one. Sparty, we were in East Lansing, won the game. You play Brian Hoyer. Obviously, he's actually somewhat of a buddy yet still. So I would say that. Yeah, the block punt was great. That was obviously probably my first big play at that level. And then the Indiana game, I mean, I think we won 63-0, something like that. So, like, obviously, very, grateful for making that play. But, at the time, it was probably just one of those overthrows. You say, well, I was a safety, so tips and overthrows, that's what we're looking for. And it's probably a overthrown ball that I happen to take to the house.
Look at how humble he is.
So.
That's awesome, man. So, I would imagine playing against Sparty at Michigan State had to be pretty cool to get 2 interceptions in that game, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was awesome for sure. Yeah.
So David actually picked number 3 on that. I picked the 46-yard TD interception, but I didn't look up the final score, and I should have.
I mean, there's the Michigan fumble recovery. That was awesome. That was probably the biggest memory I had, even though we were on the other side of that. Probably 63-0 getting whooped, or 6, I guess. But out of those 3, I would definitely say Sparty for sure.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome. So, David, final tally. David won 4 bets. I won 1. I owe you $300.
For the good guy. Anything in the big league that stands out? I'm sure you had many awesome games, but
I got so really, I guess 2 plays. One, it was interesting. It was my first game I ever started versus Jets. We lost 24-7, I think, but. We had got the pick, or my John Beesing, he picked off Sanchez and was returning it back, and he got stripped, and I happened to be around the ball, scooped it up, and I scored. So that was my first, and only NFL touchdown, and then my first interception versus Craig Knoll, I think his name was. I'm sure the listeners are like, who is that? And
I remember Craig Knoll.
Yeah, so that was in St. Louis versus the Rams. The reason why that stands out is one of my best buddies, the godfather of my third kid, it was James Laurinaitis, and he was on that side. So, like, when I got the pick, the first person I actually saw was James was running out on the field. And
Very
so that
cool.
was a pretty cool growing up with my buddy, and here we are both playing in the NFL. That was a pretty cool moment for sure.
you still have the ball.
So you played with Laurinaitis at Wayzata, and then he went on to Ohio State. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't even want to go there, but he true childhood best friend. I mean, I feel like one summer, I probably stayed at his house every day of the summer. I call his parents, even his late dad, mom, grandma, grandpa. True family, we were Trojans, and so the whole Ohio State thing, we had him committed at Minnesota because I'm a 04 and he was 05, and so we had him committed, and we were going to be roommates after his high school year. Well, he made 150, 200 tackles his senior year, and the Buckeyes came in, and. Yeah. Obviously, he chose the Buckeyes, which, history from there. I think he played in 2 natty titles. He was Dick Butkus Award winner. I mean, he won every award you can win as a linebacker, and then 2nd-round pick by the Rams. So, good buddy, still is to this day, and so good memory.
So I saw the Vikings game. I think it was this weekend where there was a fumble and I think it was a lineman got on it, and then they showed the trainer writing down a little piece of tape on it that said fumble recover in the 4th or something, because it must have been the guy's first. So they do that same thing and hang on to the ball for you?
Yep. Any ball that you wanted to keep, like usually you keep a ball if you make a play, whether it's fumble recovery pick, forced fumble. Sometimes, if I forced a fumble, but someone else picked it up, you sometimes had that option. They'd give you the ball, or they would just give you another ball. But I kept as many balls as I possibly could. Kept the ball versus the Rams, kept the ball versus the Jets, and it's cool because like my kids will play with the ball, and all of the balls are marked with the team, so like Jets, right? It's got Jets on it, or Rams, it's got Rams on it. So that's pretty cool to keep, and I got a few balls at the house that now obviously the kids just play with them and run around the house. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do they do the same thing in the NHL with pucks or sticks or something?
It's always with pucks, but they first goals, first point, they always give them the puck after the game.
Or some milestone, right? 100
Yeah,
goals.
that too.
Yeah.
That's always really cool to see that, where you know a guy will get their first goal, and obviously he's so excited to celebrate the goal that he might forget to grab the puck. But it's amazing how you see his peers go and get that puck for him. Super cool that
is,
hockey guys, they definitely take care of each other.
Okay, so I want to try to win some money here, Pete. Can we ask Kelly to make an NHL bet? They're playing tonight, right? Who's tonight? They've got a bunch of. So if you're on Sleeper, and then we're going to hand this. Dom, you've already made a bet, so I'm just going to copy your bet in a second here. Are you all right with this, Pete?
I am more than okay.
Well, get your Sleeper out because she's going to make a bet for you. Might as well copy this thing too. Okay, so when I come into Sleeper, right? So when I go to NHL, are you looking for what's hot or a certain game? And what would you do if, say, $25 on, I don't know, 4 or 5 ways? And tell everyone what you're doing.
Okay. So I don't really use Sleeper that much, but
do you see that you can bet on Mike Tyson? He's fighting against.
Yes.
Do you see this?
Yeah.
Tyson's
is that
fighting tonight?
Friday?
It's Friday.
Friday,
I think
they're
it's
gonna do
Friday.
that? Yeah.
Jake Paul or Logan Paul, one of the Paul brothers.
Yeah.
Jake Paul.
Oh man.
Well, okay. While we're doing that, what do we think? We're not betting on Tyson or what?
Oh, I would totally
would
bet
take
on
Tyson.
Tyson.
You would? Well, we should bet on Tyson then too.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's do
But
it.
again, it's like I don't know. Like, hopefully they. I mean, who knows if they gave Mike, X millions of dollars to last the whole fight, make the fight last the whole time.
Yeah.
Versus, because like if you think of Mike Tyson, he has one mission, and that's to knock you out. And if I don't see that type of energy, then I think something's going on. That's
I
just
see.
me.
The fight prior to that is going to be the best fight.
What's that one?
It's 2 women. It's like Ramirez and Smith, one from Ireland and one from Puerto Rico.
Oh.
And they're the 2 top women. And last time they went the entire fight, and it came down to a decision. And I think her name is Smith from Ireland ended up winning, but every book will tell you that the Ramirez chick won.
Oh wow.
So it's supposed to be a super good fight.
Kelly's really studying this, by the way.
Well, putting Kelly on the spot, I think we probably maybe should have gave her a
Well, no. How are we doing over there? What are you thinking?
So right now, because this is kind of like Prize Picks, so I do like seeing the popular bets right now.
Yeah.
And okay, here's the thing though. These are all shots on goals.
I think you can change it.
So I can go over here. Yeah, I'm looking at that.
Yep.
But yeah,
you don't bet on shots on goal.
Remember, I think the last time I was on, I was telling you that I've been screwed many times.
When you had a shot on goal and they didn't register it, right?
Yes. And just the other night I had something, I can't remember who I bet now. Nietzsche's from Carolina. I bet him to have over 2.5 shots on goal. And I'm so mad. Now I'm like thinking about it again. Yeah, that irritated me. So the game went into overtime, and he went into overtime with only 1 shot on goal. But he's standing outside in front of the net, and someone from the point shoots the puck. He deflects it, and the goalie makes a save, and then he gets the own rebound and scores. Isn't that 2 shots on goal?
100%.
No.
2 shots, yep.
He only had. He only
Two.
finished the game with 2 shots on goal. They only gave him 1. I'm like, the goalie had to make a save. I started researching. I'm like, what is counted? What's the judgment call on a shot? And it literally said if there's an active attempt to score, which obviously every player has the intention to score
100%.
if they're putting a puck on net,
Yeah.
and the goalie has to make a save. Well, both of those things happened. So I almost took it to Twitter.
I kind of struck a chord with you on this one. Sorry, you're getting
Oh, nice.
But that's the same.
Individual betting is so hard. I honestly.
So Kelly, when you look at
He's the
NHL
first
bets,
guy on here too.
do you know these players well, or are you just looking at their trends?
No, I usually know. So I play fantasy hockey, so I'm always kind of up to date on how many shots on goal they usually get in a night. If they are on a point streak, I love riding the point streaks. If someone's had, it's 4 games in a row where they've had a goal or an assist, I'm gonna probably keep betting them until they don't have, or until that streak ends.
There's a novel concept, David. Do research before we.
Yeah, when Kelly's really putting some thought into this one because we're going to split it. So why don't you do a read for us on Duke Cannon? Because I think that's one thing you did bring over to Colorado with you while we're pulling up this sleeper. All right.
Well, and this is kind of a special day for Duke Cannon because of their support. It is Happy Veterans Day, or it's Veterans Day, so happy Veterans Day to anyone who's out there who's a veteran. We sincerely appreciate your service and appreciate everything you've done for us. We know this way of life comes from you, so thank you very much. If you're a veteran out there who have served in active military, we appreciate it. And speaking of that, Duke Cannon, one of our sponsors, is a active and very special supporter. A portion of every proceed of their sales goes to supporting veterans programs and military programs, active and past military servers. So Duke Cannon, I thank you, as well as I use your thick hair shampoo, and I have the thinnest hair in America right now because I'm old and losing it. So I thank you for that. I use a ton of your products. I know David does. I'm pretty sure Dom, after today, will be using your products as well if he doesn't already. And they are, like, as I said, again, can't say it enough, supporters of the military and military service. So we thank them for their sponsorship as well.
Nice job, Prop Bet Pete. So the big ass brick of soap.
Okay.
So we got a couple right over there for you to take with you. They also have, if I can add on here, Prop Bet Pete, you don't have this in front of you, but they have a couple of seasonal selections of soap. Just to kind of do a teaser out there. Trophy Game, Buck Moon, and the ever popular Candy Corn. So if you want to smell like that while, for the season ahead of you, just thought we'd throw it out there.
And David, from your read, it says where we can get Duke Cannon products. And so is it say on the bottom there where we can get them? Obviously at Duke Cannon, the website, as well as
Target. Yep.
Target.
Keep going. Yeah, you got it. And hardware stores, yes.
Hardware stores. I've seen them in even
Shields
Menards,
and Dick's. You got it.
I
They're
think
everywhere.
Duluth Trading has them. They have a big selection at Duluth Trading.
Very good. So
Awesome.
Kelly is literally doing super great research on this one. We're gonna let her keep spinning through here, and then she'll explain
How
it.
many legs do we want?
Dom, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
In all locker rooms,
4 or 5, whatever you think.
You're in high school, when you're in college, when you're in the pros. There's always a betting atmosphere, right? I bet you can't throw the football through that, into that guy's locker or whatever. Is there any bets that come to mind? Because you guys obviously couldn't bet on sports. That was highly illegal, and you'd get thrown out of the league for it. Yeah. But do you have any thoughts? Like, what were some cool or kind of interesting little bets that you guys would have when you're sitting around the locker room getting ready for a game or a practice or something?
I mean, probably shouldn't say this, but I mean, who can get to the bar the fastest, right? That's a good bet, right? Who's going to be the last to the bar? Obviously, we always had some prima donnas that had to take hours to get ready. Then we had those that you probably should take 10 minutes to get ready. So
where were you in this?
I was in the middle.
You were in the middle.
I was in the middle, right?
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the betting thing in high school, that was just, poker was hot. And you go to these tournaments up north, and you play 3 or 4 games. You just play poker, right? And you play till, basically your next game, or if it's the evening, I mean, we're playing at 2, 3 in the morning. And we were very fortunate with the team we had, where we had a mentality, we didn't fear anybody. Especially in like that Pee Wee Bantam level, you got to go through us, and that was our mentality. And we so late nights, ding dong ditch, and all the fun stuff you can do at hotels. That's kind of what we did. But I'd say poker in high school, college was definitely, and college we were okay, but my senior year we were not worth a blank, and so. We spent a lot of time at the bars because we could, and we didn't.
Last guy there picks up the tab.
Yeah. And I feel like even the bartenders, they felt so bad for us because my senior year we went 1-11. That was Coach Brewster's first year. We were just awful, and even the bartenders, they would feel bad for us, right? And so, usually that first beer was, on the house because hey, here's a pick me up for you, and so. And then, NFL wise, because of how tight it is, everybody kind of just stayed away from that, unless obviously you went to bet blackjack or something like that. But other than that,
like, why risk it at that point, right? Family members and everything, just steer clear of it. Doesn't make any sense,
makes zero. To hear all the stuff even now that's going on, I just can't wrap my head around what are you doing? But greed
you're
is
literally
a real
putting
thing.
your life's career or your career in your hands by even making a $10 bet if you were to do that, right? Against in a sports bet.
Yeah, any sporting bet we did would be like Minnesota versus Michigan. Loser wears Minnesota colors or Michigan colors, stuff like that, right? Where no hard feeling, no money exchange, and that's why I almost get worked up about talking about it, because I just don't understand. You have the opportunity to play at the highest level, and you're going to risk it for what? For a payout that you probably make triple that, if not more. I just never could understand it. I still don't.
When you guys would go to away games in the NFL, or even when you're staying in a hotel, come in the night before, right? Typically one night. Mm-hmm. And then you'd have a curfew, or could you play a little pickup blackjack game or some poker, or did you guys even steer clear of that?
No, we were pretty. Coach Kubiak was pretty. Which it still blows my mind. We would always leave IH Houston's airport around noon 1, and wherever we are going, we'd always get there at the same time, whether that's 3:30 or 4. Give us a little time to change if we wanted to change before meetings and dinner. Basically, it's meetings, dinner, meetings, and then curfew was usually 10 o'clock. You had to be in your room, and you get room checked, right? So a little different. I know, other sports, when you're there much longer, you can have a little more. You can be a little more of an adult and be out and go get dinner at a nice restaurant or something like that. But for us, it was really business, trip, get in, get out, and we were home in 24, 36 hours.
Yeah, you were literally managed the whole time you're on the road, right?
Yep.
I mean, you're there to do a job.
Yep.
You're there to compete at the highest level. Mm-hmm. And that's what you should be responsible for yourself. Right?
For sure. And I do think they do that a lot, keep guys out of trouble too, right?
So this is a lot of talking about not gambling.
Yeah.
So let's switch over. So Dom, you played hockey. Look at me in high school. So Kelly, go ahead. What are we doing tonight?
Yep. So I picked all just points. I didn't want to get too fancy with going for a goal or an assist. It gets a little too, obscure then. But I picked 4 games that I think are all going to be pretty high-scoring games. So I have Celebrini for San Jose to get a point against Philadelphia. Probably going to go over. I'm sure the over-under in that game is like 6.5. So I think it's going to be high-scoring. Better chance for the guy to get a point. Makar, I have him over 1.5 points. They're playing Nashville tonight. Nashville's currently the worst team in the NHL. Makar gets 2 points just about every single game. Yeah. So that's pretty good. And LaFerriere from LA against Calgary. Again, I think that's going to be a high-scoring game. And he's on like a 5-game point streak right now.
Nice, okay.
So, and then Seth Jarvis, Carolina at Vegas. Again, high-scoring game, and he is also on a point streak. So
that's a 4-way.
Over on all those guys?
Oh, look at Pete.
Yep, over on all those to get points.
So
I like those plays.
Mm-hmm.
You guys like it? We're going to bet 25 pays 270.25.
Wow. I like it.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Sal, are you ready for this?
I'm in.
All right.
I'm in.
Hey, I think you still owe me that 100 from the Masters back then.
I do.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We just keep rolling with it, right? I'm just giving you a hard time. This is great. Okay, so there we go. So thank you.
Yes.
We will obviously be in touch with the 270.25. Pete's already doing his bet right now, copying it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So Dom, do you do prop betting, or do you have somebody to do the game parlays, or individual?
Yeah, I'm a game. I can't. The individual one, I don't know. Too much pressure on the kids or the men, right? I just can't. For me, I would always think like I'm a very much a vibe guy, and I don't want to put 75 yards to run. Aaron Jones, is he going to hit it or not? I am definitely a team better or a over-under points for sure for NFL and NBA for that matter, right? So like tonight, right? Dolphins, Rams.
Yeah.
Dolphins, I believe, are getting 2.5, and I think the over-under is 48.5.
Yeah,
Unless
it's dropped.
Dropped.
So it was, I think it opened at like 50.5 or 51.5, and now it's dropped, which usually means, that means a lot of money is coming in on the under.
Yep.
So however you want to perceive that.
So I actually... Oh, go ahead.
Pete's on his MGM Colorado app at the moment. This is actually Pete's retirement. So Kelly and Dom, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Boy, if this is my retirement, I got some freaking problems. Let's see here. So I was trying to Venmo money into my account while I'm listening to you, Dom, because I want to place the bet as we're talking. But as of right now, MGM has the Dolphins getting 2.5, so the Rams are 2.5-point dogs or favorites. So minus 2.5 Rams. The over/under is 48.5.
Yep.
The money line is Rams minus 150. The Dolphins plus 125. So
yeah. So for me,
what do you like?
I like the Dolphins getting 2.5, and I like the over. I think it's going to be a track meet. I think Tua's getting back to Tua. I like McDaniels, how he calls plays, and McVay too, right? So, I mean, my strategy is kind of looking at it all, right? Octane's been hot, right? So they're going to run the ball. But usually when he gets the ball, especially if he gets a lane, he's so fast he can take it for 6. So that's what I got in tonight. I got Dolphins +2 and over 48.5. And I think, Stafford's going to produce, who else? Cooper. I mean, everyone's back from the Rams' perspective, right? So Rams are going to score, and then Dolphins, hopefully they can figure it out tonight. And if they figure it out, it's a track meet, and they score. So that's.
But they've only won 2 games, right, or something. They're struggling a little bit. With Tua being out, too.
Yeah, right? I would. Yeah, and I say a few of those are, Tua's out, right? You go from, a starting quarterback to your backup. It's tough, right? Obviously, we saw the Cowboys yesterday and how that transpired, and it's not easy to come in and start, right, and expect to play at the level that Tua was playing at. So I think this is his second week back, I think, so maybe third. He's got to be more comfortable. Probably will take some more chances, hang in the pocket a little bit longer. But I also think too, he's going to play smart, and I'm sure McDaniels, you probably see a lot of quick throws, try to get Tyreek on the move motion over the middle and let him kind of do his thing. And same with the Octane, the running back, screens, short throws, use your speed. And that's why I say I think it's going to be a track meet. I think it'll be a lot of points.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's in Miami too, isn't it? Is it in Miami?
That's a good question because I typically do look at weather factors, right? Because if it's raining, I'm thinking heavy run. So usually if it's raining, I go under. But, if it's in L.A. or Miami, usually it's hot.
It's in L.A., you said, Kelly?
So inside. So I definitely think they're going to air it out.
Also, Tyreek is questionable right now, though.
Question, he's playing.
Yeah, you think so? Yeah.
Well, wait a second. Is that like a thing? What you give us a little insight on here?
I mean, yes, we would know, right? We would know. Typically, you're going to know if a guy is not going to play or not, especially if you're Tyreek Hill.
Is there any gamesmanship around that of like changing up defense, offensive?
So like what you have to stick to is you have to submit your 46. It was 46 when I was playing. I don't know what it is now. But your 46 active players, and then 6 or 7 would be inactive. So you have so I think the game, say it's at 7:15. So by 5:15, you have to know if Tyreek is in or out. You have to know.
Got it.
And so, that's just the rule. 2 hours before any game, you have to put in your final roster. And like the questionable things, I mean, he's probably took a day off. A lot of the veterans get days off for recovery. He probably had a day off, and they put questionable on there just because he had that day off. That's my guess.
You're doing some research over there. What are you seeing, Kelly?
Well, the problem is I think like the Dolphins, it is kind of like a must-win for them, but I think they're already kind of toast either way. Like they're 2-6, they have a 1-2 division record.
Yep.
Like I don't know, like this game I feel like just means a lot more to the Rams for them, and it's more important for them to win, I guess. But I don't know. I know it's tricky, like freaking me out that lines are moving and like the over/under is dropped. That's weird,
Yeah, I agree. I try not to look at all of the season right? You know, I look at what have you done for me lately? That's what I'm looking at, and I can tell you, week in, week out, teams are trying to get a win.
Yeah.
You know, and Coach McDaniels was an offensive analyst my rookie year, right? So I know how Mike operates, and he's trying to win. Because again, also you have to look at jobs, right? Like job security is a serious thing, and you know you're a head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And the team too. If you're not playing well, you're gonna get cut, right? So I try to look at all those factors as much as I can, while not going too deep. But you know, I do blow a lot of smoke. That I don't. The over/unders. I'm a vibe guy. If I feel all right, looking at what I looked at, I like Miami. I'm sticking with Miami. I like the over. I'm sticking with the over.
I like the over.
No matter what happens late or not.
You've got about 20 more minutes to convince Kelly or Kelly convince you. So I like it.
Right.
Pete, every day that we have a guest on, doesn't it feel like it's going to be our last because these people are way more knowledgeable gambling than we are?
Do you ever look at public betting trends? Sorry, continue. That's my thing.
So Dom, just you kind of sparked something there. A thought is, when you're in that locker room and you've been part of NFL teams that have probably had not so great records and ones that have had good records, it's all about that week, right? And it's all about personal pride. Even if your team's 2-10, right? I mean, you want to beat that team hands down, right? I mean,
absolutely. There's no question. And if you don't, you're either you'll stick out like a sore thumb, right? You know the guys that come in the office, watch the film, break down the tape, study the playbook, and because you can see that practice. And if you don't or you're not going to last very long, right? And you know, so I week in, week out. I mean, I listen to what I listen to, right? And I hear all the stuff that people say, and you know, they're tanking out and this and that, and it's hard for me to accept that because there's no way in my mind any player is going to tank out on the season, whether you're 1-15 or 15-1. No, every week these guys are going out there to grind and put out the best performance they can that day. Every day.
Because even if it's not for the team, you personally have, you have a vested interest in remaining employed in a sport that pays a lot of money and that you've loved your whole life, right? Like it's
absolutely because your resume. You are a walking resume. So week in, week out, I know somebody is watching me, right? And if I say I don't make it in Houston, right? Well, you know, you play Indy, you play Titans, you play Jacksonville 2 times. Maybe someone there sees something that they like that could fit their culture or fit their plan, and you get picked up when your contract's up, right? So you're always constantly playing that game of, if you're not producing, I'm not going to be able to keep playing.
Yeah.
I love it. So one thing, just want to do a highlight here, but I'm going to lead it in this way, Pete. I don't know how much you can see here, but Kelly's cup. Can you see Kelly's cup here?
I can. Yes.
It's the Minnesota Lottery, and we have right in front of her a new sponsor, and she's going to do a quick read for us because without our sponsors, we wouldn't be here.
Yes. So Drip Drop, with 75% of Americans being chronically dehydrated, we've teamed up with the best hydration product on the market, Drip Drop. Drip Drop offers the simplicity of quick hydration with less sugars and better taste than other competitors. Trusted by elite athletes in the U.S. military, Drip Drop offers the best hydration out there. Try Drip Drop for your next workout. Click the link in the podcast description to enjoy 20% off your order at dripdrop.com with code PULLTAB at checkout.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to give it a little try.
I
I'm going to try it.
Do you want to throw one in there right now? Look, that's not Drip Drop. That's smelling salts. Were you about to take a nap or something? Are we boring you?
Just had to get a little quick. Now I need some
pass
Drip
it all
Drop.
around here.
Yeah.
You can't just.
Now I need some. Now I need
Do
some
you
Drip
want
Drop.
any?
Yeah,
You
I
want to
want
hit on
some.
that too,
Yeah.
Pete? You have to get some of this.
He's breaking out the nail polish.
Are you? Let's see it.
I got the nail polish right here.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll get you. And then you go take a Drip Drop.
I love it. See, this is it. Pete, you're using the Pete now for those of you. Sal, can people see him or no?
Right. Yes. Right now they can. Yeah.
Okay, do that again. He's actually using what's that thing called? The little
Brush.
brush.
A little brush.
That's solid. That's solid. Now that would not get me out on the field.
Man. Oh man.
Like, hey, Dom, that's a good question. It's not gambling related, but have you ever been hit so hard in football when you're in the NFL that you just didn't even know where you were?
Yeah, actually, I have. I think it was Mike Bell,
I love that you said I think.
running back for the Saints. Yeah, it was run. He cut it back, and I had to fill the A gap, which is not fun to do when you're coming from where I was coming from, and it was a collision. And I remember getting up from the pile, but I couldn't feel anything in my body for about a play, right? And like I had to keep playing. It was preseason. It was my second year preseason game, and I had to get up. I had to keep playing because again, we're playing for spots, and so you can't take me out. And back then, we didn't have what they have now with the concussion third-party folks that are
Protocol,
specifically looking for head trauma injuries. And so I get up in my Eugene Wilson, my safety, my partner safety, and I'm like, Gino, I can't feel anything right now. And I can just remember Gino saying, hey, we're cover four. I'm like, okay. And so that play happens, and then the next play, Drew Brees threw a flare route to Pierre Thomas, and I busted the coverage. And so touchdown, and I came off the field, and preseason, so it's still a big deal to me. But coach was like, "Hey, what happened?" And I told him, I was like, "I don't remember. I blew the coverage, but I don't remember. It didn't It didn't come to my mind of what I was supposed to do or who I was supposed to take." So we ended up double teaming. I'm pretty sure it was Miko. So D'Amico Ryans, who head coach of Houston now, he had the tight end. I took the tight end too, so we doubled him, and we were supposed to, if the tight end went flat. And the running back, we were supposed to switch, but running back flared, tight end went under, so he took the tight end, and I was supposed to take the flare, but I didn't, and so that's the one hit that I'll never forget, but forgot, if that makes sense.
Right.
So what happened after that? The next 5 or 10 minutes,
So-
did they pull the game, or what happened?
Yeah, so it was preseason, and that was the last series for us that half. And I didn't play the rest. The starters didn't play the rest of that game, so got lucky there. But I
You
never
got your bell rung.
totally. But I never seeked a trainer because once you document that, then you're going to be
You go through concussion protocol.
you got all that stuff. And again, it's preseason.
You're vying for a spot. Yeah.
I'm always thinking like. Everything I do, I'm always like, I'm borderline. What do I have to do to not be borderline? And, if you got a concussion in preseason, and at the time, 16-game season, they do take that into consideration, especially when you're a bubble guy like I was all 4 years, bubble guy. But, you got to keep going.
Yeah, it's interesting. They say, I've heard people say that every time an NFL player comes through a game week, it's the equivalent of being in a car wreck. Right?
Yeah.
Is that true? That's true.
Yeah. That head-to-head combat, it's violent, right? But I don't necessarily, because of now with the whole concussions movie and the whole movement that they have with protocol and all that good stuff, I feel a lot better about how things are. If you play football, but it's any sport, soccer. You can get a concussion, lacrosse, hockey. It can happen. If you're a physical person, it can happen. But now, that's not. I don't want to put fear in my kids about that, right? No, you just go play the game, and we'll handle everything as such, and we'll, there's things that we can take care of you on. So,
Sure.
But that happens betting, right? I look for injuries, right? Who's out, who's not, right? And so
100%.
I don't necessarily look at the 150 minus 170. I don't look at that, right? It's probably good I should know that, but I am a total, this is what I'm going with tonight. And this time of year, college football, NFL, NBA, there's
So
nothing better.
you said you're a vibe guy.
Yeah.
And Kelly talked about being a vibe, feeling the vibe when you're playing poker. I got a quick story I've got to tell about Pete and our listeners, because Sal hasn't even heard this one.
Oh no.
Yep. No, this is a heartfelt story right here. So Pete was in town 2 weeks ago.
Last week.
Last weekend. And he had a lot going on. but he arranged with good old David Casino here to meet up with me. And he was going to do it after dinner. And so at 9 o'clock, I said, I'm ready to go. I didn't hear from good old Prop Bet Pete. I heard from him. He'll tell his side of the story here in just a second here, okay? I heard from him at like 10:05 or something like that. And he said, I'm really wrecked. I'm not sure I can do it. So all I said was, okay. I didn't give him the out, but I didn't give him the, right?
Yeah. Guilt trip.
I did a little bit because I hadn't seen him in a while, right?
I don't blame you.
And he said, I'll be at your place in 40 minutes. Just get me a Diet Coke and some caffeine. And we went to Mystic Lake.
Oh.
And I'm going to let you take over on the story here because this is a good one for Prop Bet Pete and the gambling guys.
Yeah, so I was cashed, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to drive all the way over from Stillwater. I was in Stillwater all the way over to Edina to pick David up and go somewhere. And then when he sent me the text, I was like, you know what? I can sleep when I'm dead. So I literally jump in my car. I pull up to David's place, and he's got 2 Diet Cokes and a bag of candy cane popcorn in his hand. And it's 10:45 at night.
And carbs.
That shit's good, by the way. So we end up on the 20-minute drive down to Mystic Lake. We pulling into Mystic Lake, and I'm like, David, I don't have any cash with me. He's like, I got to go to the cash machine when we get in there. And he's like, I've got some cash. Let's just go play. So we get in. We're walking through the casino. I'm walking past 1 ATM, 2 ATMs. I'm like, David, I don't like to have no money in a casino. I should stop. And he's like, let's just play 200 at this poker machine over here. And we'll play. So David puts 100 in, and he plays for a while. We're playing double bonus poker, $1, $5 bet. David goes up, he goes down. He played for actually a considerable amount of time and ends up going through the 100. And he goes, sit down. And I'm like, he's put your card in. I'm gonna give you the $100. And I'm like, okay, I'll pay you back. Literally, I think 5-6 hands later, I hit my first royal flush for $6,000.
You finally hit one.
He finally hit one. $6,339.14 at 11:43.
Come on.
And I told
Not
him
even on your own money. Technically, that's awesome. Though.
He took the taxes.
Okay.
He took the taxes. I got my $100 back. I'll tell you that much.
So my card was in there. I took the W2G because, as you might imagine, it doesn't matter this year. My year has not been great for gambling, so I got plenty of losses to go against that. But $6,300. It was a progressive machine, and it was my first royal. And literally, I came about this close to just going to bed and still.
Wow.
And I told him on the way, I said, you're not going to forget about coming here tonight. And then I could repeat that, right? I mean, what a fun vibe story to say.
Awesome.
And the cool thing, too, about this, he got dealt the king, jack, and ace of diamonds with a king of clubs. And so we've always said, like, keep 3 to a royal and kick the pair. And he kind of he sat there and hit the king of clubs a couple times and hit it. Now, for those of you that watch us and listen to us a little bit, Pete's CPU runs a little slower than mine. And so I was already up jumping around and high-fiving people when Pete was doing this.
Oh,
and then it registered, and I was like, "There is a God."
The old hard drive to put it into memory, but
that is so awesome.
Well, it takes a while on the hard drive for you to recognize that you have a chance at it too. You've done that a few times.
Well, I've thrown a two in my day. That's for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. It was really interesting because we were only $200 in. 2, I just didn't expect it. And David had said on the way there, we're going to hit something big tonight. And I'm like, yeah, we always say that, right? And I was just a little negative, and it couldn't have come at a better time. So first royal, I'm on the board. I've seen David get 5 or 6 personally, and I know you've had 7 or 8 before that. So I got a lot of catching up to do. But
we had just like 4 weeks ago, and by the way, we gamble fair enough, so it's not like we're up another. But we were at a different casino before probably 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I hit one, and Pete was excited for us, but he's like, "Why do you always get them?" I'm like, "Pete, come on, you get to split the $4,000, like you get a like." But so it was really good that he hit the button.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh,
I've seen some bad losses at casinos.
Yeah, so Vegas or here?
Yeah, so some really bad losses where guys that whether my teammates or my brother's teammate, my brother played for the Cowboys. We'd go to Vegas, Bellagio, and they would rope off, in the high stakes area or whatever, and you could play. They set it up pretty nice where you could play as low as $50 or as high as you want. So, here I am, first, second, third year guy, like I'm kind of like to have money, and I love to gamble, but I'm very low level gambler as far as how much I'm putting on the table. So like, here I am playing $50, $100 hands, and here I am, other guys playing $5 grand, $10 grand, $25 grand. I saw, keep names out of it, I saw in 5 minutes a guy lose $250K and go to the, what do you call it, the
pit boss.
Yeah, get another
Get
credit.
a marker.
Yeah,
Get another
limited
one.
credit.
No,
yeah.
and here I am with my little bet, feeling just awful, but celebrating every win, and then seeing this guy literally lose $250,000, and like then go get more because you think you lose, you're gonna get it back. You can get it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have seen some horror stories where I've seen some guys that they don't make it out that night because there's just so. But then I have seen guys when I've seen a guy win $500,000 on baccarat.
Yeah.
Don't even know how to play it, but he, sitting there watching, and here you hit $500K, and like, I want to try to play this, but that wasn't like high stakes where you had to play a certain level. So, seen some good, seen some bad. But
have you ever been part of a big win? Or considered a big win for you? What was that?
Yeah, you know what? I was so when I was in Vegas, I like betting on. We always went to fights, so like I saw Floyd Mayweather fight a number of times, Manny Pacquiao. I think it was Ricky Hatton and Manny Pacquiao were
Great fight.
Great fight.
Oh,
great
I
fight.
like that one.
Yeah.
And I think Pacquiao knocked him out in the 7th, maybe. It doesn't matter. But I had picked knockout. Didn't get the round right, but I had picked knockout, and I think I won like $7 grand.
Yeah.
Which it's a good bet.
That's
right?
great.
It's great. That's a great win. Especially I like fights or boxing, but I don't watch boxing. And so it was a total just gamble. And it came out I think it was $7 grand. That was a fun, but I always love going to Vegas and watching people and see how they bet on boxing. It's a different animal than I think any other sport because you can bet on specific rounds, punches, stuff like that. So,
Are you betting on? We were kind of just joking, but are you betting on Mike Tyson? And
I would love to bet on it. I don't trust because again, Mike Tyson is in the ring was a killer, and if he doesn't, I just don't know what you're going to get. And he's what 58, 9.
He's Pete's age.
Yeah, so and he's about to go fight a 27, 8-year-old. So does he have the endurance? Does he have all that? I don't know.
Yeah, is it
What do you
cash
think?
grab? Might be a cash grab.
That dude's a beast, though. If you watch the Netflix documentary leading up to the fight, he's all in. He's all in.
I want to
So
see
it
it.
might be a
Yeah.
cash grab.
What was the
right?
last
Like,
fight with Jake Paul? That didn't end in like a tie or something.
Yeah.
So like, what in the world?
Versus professional boxers.
Yeah,
Or retired
yeah.
professional. It's like there's.
I'm like,
I
I
don't
think
know.
you lose your bet then because just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
And nothing
a football
against-
game ends in a tie, you don't win that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
nothing
you must
against
lose
the-
there. I'm like, okay, something feels odd about that.
No,
'Cause
I totally
remember him
agree.
getting like his butt kicked.
Yeah,
that
it's
they
a
called it
total
a tie.
chicken dance.
Yeah.
I mean,
agree.
yeah.
And no offense to the Pauls, right? They're
Yeah.
making a lot of money with what they're doing. They're,
so much,
They're
yeah.
YouTube sensations, so they know what they're doing. And whether they get knocked out or not, they're going to make a bunch of money.
I think the five of us are on the verge of being YouTube sensations after this nearly 60 minutes of
Yeah.
chat. And so
How fast.
No, it is. It goes by
Right.
fast, and we're
It does.
having fun. Kelly, any big wins? Anything you want to highlight in the last time since we chatted with the listeners?
So I was just in Vegas not long ago, like a few weeks ago, and I was there for a long time. I was there for like 6 days, but I was playing a lot of slots, didn't have luck on the slots, and it came down to my last night again. And I'm telling you, there's something serious about winning in your last night in Vegas.
Did you
I
have
think
$10
they know what you're
left?
about to. I had like $50 left, and I turned it into like $4,000 on blackjack.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did that, and then I also had a $1,400 hand pay on a slot machine too. So I'm like, they know when I'm about to leave. I swear they let me win a little bit at the
Yeah.
end,
At
so
the
I
end.
hopefully extend my stay or something.
That's
but
so awesome.
Yeah, but that was
what
fun.
5-reel did you hit the hand pay on? Do you remember?
It was the Frankenstein game.
Oh,
so
Pete
I like
likes
that
that.
one. Yeah.
Oh, power!
Power
Yes.
Power.
Me and my
Joe?
mom really like that game. So
That's awesome.
That's a very volatile game, by the way. You're either good or you're bad on that game. That's a tough one.
yeah, right. We got the free games and we hit I think the major right away for like 900, and then I thought it was going to be bigger. I was kind of mad that it was only 1400.
1400.
But you gotta take what you can get, you know.
What were you playing to spin? Were you playing? You were obviously
It was
playing.
I was playing 2-cent denomination. Like I think it was that bet was $4 a spin.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's a good win though.
Yeah, that- right.
$4 to turn into 14 is whatever times that. Yeah.
Right. If you think of it like that,
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's always a multiple of your bet, right? So if you get 200 times your bet, that's a nice play.
Dom, last time when Kelly was here, she turned I think $10 into.
So it was $15 into 2,000.
So 50 into 4. We got to stick close. I'm going to start with the 270 bet.
Yeah.
Pete and I were just talking today. We're actually going to make a trip to Vegas, a quick short run. 6 days we can't do, Kelly, but we're going to be there for 3 days here, first part of December. So we'll come back with it. I might be there actually 4 days before that and come back for 2 days because Thanksgiving's in between.
Oh, yeah.
So, when you're dedicated, you got to be dedicated on the front and back end of Thanksgiving at least to come back.
I can't believe you're going to make 2 trips in 7. Like you might as well just camp out there.
I know, but I can't get turkey dinner on Thursday and Friday.
Oh, man.
Oh, you can find a turkey dinner there.
I'm sure you
I'm
could,
sure there's
right?
a casino that would pay for your turkey dinner with our gambling. So there you go.
So Pete, for the viewers and listeners here, if Sal switches over the camera to see you got some things in the background. Do you want to just call it out to the listeners or to the viewers? They can't. For the listeners, anything you want to say about your background?
There's some books back there, but there's also something that says the Bears still suck. It's Packer week. But, most Viking fans think that the Packers' biggest rival is the Vikings, but it's really the Bears and always has been the Bears. So it is Bears week this week. I grew up in Wisconsin. I'm a cheesehead. So I did kind of, as a joke, put that stuff back there, but the Bears do still suck, and I'm still a Packer fan. So I'm rooting for the Packers this week, and I don't know how I'm going to bet it. That's the problem. I can't bet Packers because I bet emotionally, and that never goes well for me. Yeah. So, I think we should probably wrap up, David, because this is probably the longest podcast you ever did, and almost the most fun, quite frankly.
Real quick though, let's pick the brains here. What do you guys think on that Packer-Bear game?
Oh,
Dom?
Packers. Yeah. I mean, until the Bears can show me something, it's hard to not take whoever they're playing. I think they're putting way too much on Caleb. I feel bad for him. I felt bad for Fields. They haven't had the, Green Bay Packers. You have Brett Favre for 30 years and A-Rod for 35, and they just, now Jordan Love's going to be there for 40, right? Obviously, numbers are a little skewed there, but I think when you can have Vikings, I think are in a perfect situation with McCarthy, right? Obviously, unfortunate situation with his injury, but you have Sam Darnold, first overall pick, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, has been in the Jets organization, Kyle Shanahan in the 49ers organization, and now he's got KOC, has a lot of memory there to help the young guy and JJ be able to develop, and then they'll put him in when he's ready, right? Obviously you hear Darnold threw 3 picks yesterday. Hey, the ship's ending, right? No, quarterbacks have bad games. It's a team game. Jared Goff threw 5. They still won. So I think in time, JJ is going to be set up pretty nice, and I'm excited for the Vikings, and I'm hopeful that they have a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers type of longevity in a quarterback, or Dante Culpepper, right, where you're playing for more than 2 or 3 years. Cousins made a nice run, but I don't know. We'll see. That's just my thought.
Yeah.
Go Pack.
Love it. I love the thought. I love the Vikings thought. I totally agree with you. And I don't hate the Vikings as much as I used to. So I love KOC. I think he's a great coach. I think he seems like a player's coach. And
Agreed.
And I also think that J.J. McCarthy is the future there. I agree with you. So
Does the injury worry you guys with McCarthy? It's just going to...
No.
I mean, he's 22, 3. He's young. He's
fine.
A-Rod is 39 or 40 or 40, however he had a torn Achilles, and he's now he's A-Rod, a little different, but no, I think now with all of the health things you can put in your body and the recovery and hyperbaric chambers that these guys live in and sleep in. Recovery nowadays, an ACL used to be a year. Now it's like 6 months, I feel like 7 months, right? So, and you can still, TJ Hawkinson, come back and play at a high level like he did yesterday in the last couple of weeks. So, injuries suck, but I think there's a lot more that you can to help you get back a lot quicker. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I think it's been one of the most entertaining and certainly the most informational for those of you that are doing our listeners to follow some bets. So we've got some teasers out there. Sal, thanks for making this happen. Prop Bet Pete, always great to see you. And Dom and Kelly, certainly awesome to have you in studio. Thanks to all of our listeners as well.
Dom and Kelly, can't thank you enough for just the time and you guys spending time. And Dom, awesome stories about your playing days, and just really good to hear from a player's perspective as we as these bettors sit out here and think we know everything, and just hear from your perspective of how what the mentality is of a player when they're going to suit up. So appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right, anytime. Here we go. Catch you next time.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
One more.
God.
Yeah, you got to get it.
Oh, look at you guys go.
Oh my God.
So this is one time I'm thankful for not being there.
That's a wrap. Thanks, everybody. Catch you next time.